助けてねお兄ちゃん。
あ、父さんごめん。今日はチェスターと約束してたんだった。
ああ、ペンダントのことは夕食の時にでも話そう。
でもお前が心配でね。怪我しないように気をつけなさいよ。
目を開けてよ母さん。
天候を満つるところに我はあり、黄泉の門開くところに汝あり。いでよ神の雷。
何それは。
これで最後だ。インディグネーション。
そんなバカな。うわっ。
Alright, hello everyone, welcome to today's video where we will be playing one of my most favorite JRPG titles, one of the pillars of gaming for me, as this happens to be one of the games I played as a kid and finished and loved and thought that, man, video games are so cool and they provide such interesting stories and dynamics, and it's so much fun. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is our Let's Play of Tales of Phantasia Cross. That's right, Cross, the version of Tales of Phantasia that never got to the West with an official localization, and is part of the game on the PSP system, the PlayStation Portable Handheld System, called Tales of Phantasia Narikiri Dungeon X. So this is one of the games included on that game. It never got ported or released to the West because they never translated it. They never provided us an official translation. But thanks to Life Bottle Productions, we got ourselves a 100% complete, of course it's 100% working fan translation for this game that honestly I think deserves a remake, like a full remake treatment, right? The same way that Trails of the Sky got. This is the one. If we're talking about the Tales of franchises anniversary, I think it's the 25th anniversary or something, then this game needs a remake so badly, right? But they're not giving it to us. I'm not really sure why or what's taking them so long. Like, this is the title that cemented the Tales of franchise for me as a must-play video game for anyone who wants to dive into or delve into the JRPG genre of gaming. So yeah, a decade or so has passed since then. So I'm not gonna go and read like the voiced the voiced lines on this game. I'm gonna let the voice actors do their thing. They're phenomenal in this game, as old as this game is. But I will be reading the text from the moments where there are no voice acting on it. Which, speaking of voice acting, that's one of the things that's included in the newer quote-unquote versions of Tales of Phantasia. Like, there's Tales of Phantasia fully voiced edition that also came out for the PSP. Also never got localized, and also this. So the difference between those two, and which I would consider like the optimal, like the peak version of the Tales of Phantasia games that we have so far, it would have to be this one, the Cross version, because it has the fully voiced. They remove certain aspects of the battle system to make it flow like better. They added the characters, fleshed out the story, and also the characterization of our main heroes. And even the side characters, and they added stuff to coincide with the Narikiri dungeon additional story, which I think, if I remember correctly, it happens 2 years after this game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but anyways, enough yapping, let's continue on. So they're not really hiding who Miguel is. At this point, we saw it briefly in the second cutscene after the fight with the bad guy on the screen. His name is Deos. So yeah, they're not really hiding who he is. This game doesn't really like to hide stuff in a way that makes you guess. They're sort of feeding you the information as we go along. Like right off the bat, we're told that Cless has the pendant.
ペンダント？ああ、15歳の誕生日の時にもらったペンダントのこと？あの時父さんに言われた通り大切に持ってるよ。あれはどうしたの？
It's the same, by the way. It's the same pendant we saw in the initial cutscene. There's Chester.
借りに行ってくれよ。
気をつけてね、お兄ちゃん。
ああ、留守番頼むぞ。
So I'm going to try to provide a 100% playthrough of this game. I'm gonna try really hard. I'm just running off what I remember from playing it as a kid. Like, I remember these initial parts perfectly, but further along, it's the things that we have to do to progress and where to go and stuff like that. It's a little bit fuzzy for me. Except for this initial part, because this prologue part of the game is really what sets the tone for me when I was playing it as a kid. So it was very it sort of like hit me so hard, right? And it made me go, oh, I want to continue playing this game.
あ、父さんごめん。今日はチェスターと約束してたんだった。
But yeah, I originally played this on the PlayStation, the first one, when I was a kid.
はい。
It's one of, from what I remember,
どれしたんしよう。
3 games that I asked my dad to buy for me when he bought me, or bought us rather, our family console, which is the PlayStation 1. The other 2 titles that I asked for him was Digimon World 1 and also Lunar Silver Star Story Complete.
気にするなよ。
And then the first game that I beat was Lunar Silver Star Story Complete, which is another game that I really would like for us to play here in my channel. And then I beat this game, went and bought another JRPG title, which is 1,000 Arms, another game that really needs to have a comeback. But I feel like if it does end up getting remake or remastered or even ported to newer generations of consoles, I think it's gonna receive flack for some of the jokes and depictions it has there because of how easily offended people seem to be now compared to back when I was a kid, and it feels like people know the distinction between a joke and when to take stuff seriously, right?
クレス？
母さん、まだ病み上がりなんだから外に出ちゃダメだよ。
Again, they're not hiding who Cless's parents are.
怪我しないように気をつけなさいよ。
Like, if you look at their sprites and compare it to the second cutscene after the battle with Deos, which is the first scene in the prologue when we started the game, they're not really hiding who Maria and Miguel are, but we are going to be learning more about them further into the game.
おばさん、心配しないで。山ほど獲物を買ってくるから。
わかったわ。 でもくれぐれも無理はしない。
Also, I would like to know if you like the style of editing that I'm going to be making or doing with this Let's Play, and I guess every single Let's Play that we will be doing as we move along in the game acquired 2 apple gels.
そろそろ出かけようぜ。
Because I'm really having fun editing, and I would like to know if you guys prefer this kind of editing.
アミーがお前に渡したいものがあるってさ。
It would really, help a lot. So we're not gonna change any of the names. Larminate! Did you know that in the original release of Tales of Phantasia back in 1995, Totus Village was called Totus, but in Cross, they renamed it to Totus. Now, if you know Latin, then you would know that Totus is a Latin word that means whole or change. It is an interesting name to pick for the place where Cless hails from and where his story begins, especially when you take into account the destiny that will befall this place and how symbolic it is to the whole shattering of wholeness or peace that spurs Cless and Chester on and their adventure. I don't know, as someone who writes and enjoys stories and storytelling, I find naming conventions like these telling and interesting. And also, before we do anything, it feels so weird moving Cless around with the analog stick. I feel like my brain cannot fully comprehend that I'm playing this on a quote-unquote modern console. But yeah, for those wondering, I'm playing this on the Steam Deck because we needed to mod the game in order to make use of Life Bottle Productions fan translation. Anyways, before we head to Ami and also before we go on with the story, there are certain things that I remember we have to do. For instance, we can talk with Miguel and Master Tristan over here. Dad, I'm going out to hunt with Chester. Hunting, is it? That's fine. Remember your training and stay alert. Come back by sunset. We still need to talk about your pendant. I feel like if it's something important, you should probably not wait. Have you been training diligently? If you have, you'll one day surpass your father as a swordsman. Also, these two, I remember they give some kind of tutorial. An adept swordsman doesn't just rush his enemy. He must also maintain his composure and mind the basics of defense. Oh yeah, they do provide tutorial. In battle, circle is your attack button and square is your defense button. If that doesn't fit your playstyle, you can change the battle controls in the customized menu. And this girl here, oh, you must be Cless, Master Alvein's son. I could never understand how we're supposed to pronounce Cless's last name. I usually go by Alvein. I'm not sure if that is the correct pronunciation, or I think I may have heard what the correct pronunciation was back when I watched the 6th episode animation of this game, Tales of Phantasia, the animation. But yeah, it's not really a good retelling of the game because it glossed over so many things. It jumped over so many things. It'd be my honor to spar with you, but it's almost time for my training, perhaps on another occasion. Maybe I can teach you something in the meantime. Do you know how formation arrangement works? So 1 is yes, I do. 2, no, please tell me about it. 3, I know all about it. Let's pretend we don't know anything. It's the placement of your troops during battle. Since you're a swordsman class, you should fight on the front line. Since Chester is an archer, you should have him back you up from behind. You can modify your formation in the formation menu. Normally, the front line is towards the right, but if you're attacked from behind, the opposite comes true. Watch out! So yeah, if we go upstairs, there's actually a hidden scene here. Well, 2 things that are important. The first one is in Cless's room. If we interact with the bed, we can choose to rest, but since we don't need to right now, we can choose no. And then this room, Cless's mother's room, will initiate this little cutscene that expands a little bit on Cless's family dynamics and also on Chester and his sister, Mom. She's sleeping soundly. Mom is always working herself to the bone. She really needs to take a breather from time to time. She's a real good mom, though. I'm jealous, dude. A great father and loving mother? A real perfect family you've got here. Or there. What are you talking about? You have one too. Doesn't Ami count? No one loves her brother more than she does. Damn straight. She's my sister after all. And then the maid comes in screaming, "Keep your voices down!" Like she's the one with the exclamation mark. She's the one who's screaming at them. For crying out loud, she should keep her voice down. So yeah, after this, there's not really much to do in Cless's house right now. So we go down here, and again, before heading off to speak with Amy, we would want to get something. So in this bridge, it offers some interesting information. This is Maple Bridge. It's been here for ages. According to village folklore, vows of love exchanged here will never die. Where people got that idea, I'll never know, which is an interesting thing to say. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's an interesting thing to say. Oh, hello, Cless. You frightened me there. I don't know if I've told you this yet, but our marriage ceremony is next month. Oh, I can't wait. There's still so much planning to do and arrangements to make, though. We were talking about it just moments ago. So you don't have to talk to anyone here in this village. It's a starting village. Like, these villagers, they don't really say anything that important. Teach me about swordsplay, bro. I want to get all strong and buff. But since this is a JRPGs, you have to talk to people, right? You have to talk to people in order to know where you're going, and it's true for this game as well. But for this first part, there are only a few people that you would need to talk in order to get something. Anyways, this is the weapon shop. We can't really purchase anything yet because look at how much money we got. 100 gold. Not so much at that. So first things first, head to the inn and then push the bush baby statue like so. May I borrow your strength for a moment, Cless? I need that ornament moved out of the way. I already moved it a little bit, ma'am. That ornament? Oh, you mean this bush baby statue? Move the bush baby statue, select yes, of course, up against the window at the back of the... This is the innkeeper. Up against the window at the back of the hall would be perfect. That way you won't have guests tripping over it. Okay, so let's do just that. Push it all the way because we want the thing that Grandma over here is gonna give us. Thank you. Here's a little something for your trouble. Obtain 10 gold! Yes, we are rich, baby! But yeah, it's not much, since money also comes from enemies here. Anyways, let's head to the general store goalie and talk to the old man. Oh, Chester, how's your little sister these days? Take this to her, won't ya? It's a present. Acquired an apple. So we need that apple for a title for Chester. Again, we're trying to do... Wait, can I buy? I want to buy... Need anything? But we have for the west. We might be in for a bit of a downpour. Can I buy? Oh, I don't remember this. I don't remember. I just thought I would like to buy something like the lenses. Anyway, we have the apple, so let's hurry back here to Chester's house. Before we go upstairs, there's also a hidden cutscene here. Oh, it's my favorite, Mabo curry. Ami couldn't wait for us to bring back dinner, huh? Well, cooking is one of her favorite things. I'm sure she won't mind if I have a quick little taste. Hey, don't pig out on it. I know. So good. So yeah, going upstairs, that's where Ami is. So we need to talk to her to get an item which doesn't have any use right now. Oh, hello, Cless. Here, I made it. Acquired stuffed Cless. So yeah, I'm gonna say something about this item in a bit. It's a doll that looks like Cless. Pretty well made, ain't it? So that's what you were suing every night. Thanks, I'll treasure it. Hey, Ami, where's mine? Big brother is sad. Gee, fine. And then she hands over us. I'll give you this. An apple gel. Thank you, Ami. That's actually more useful. So after that, because we have the apple we got from the general store owner, if we talk to Amy again, or Ami again, hey sis, the old guy at the general store wants me to give you this. Oh, are you sure it wasn't meant for you? Yup, it's a present from him for you. Right, Cless? Gave Ami the apple. Oh, how sweet. I'll have to thank him later. Chester has earned the title Kind Brother. So all of that was in order to get this title. So this is highly missable. I think you can get the apple and also the stuffed animal, the stuffed Cless, rather, stuffed animal, the apple, the stuffed Cless, and also this title. You can get it before the cutoff for that. I feel like is before we end up fighting the boar later. So yeah, we can change his title to Kind Brother. So there we go. So that's all we can do at this point here in the village of Totus. So let's hold on, dash outside. Whee! So really, if you pay attention to the dialogue right here at the beginning parts of the game, you can sort of piece together what's actually happening for this first act of the game that we're in. Like, I totally miss these old school JRPGs, because what we have now, it's like everything looks pretty, but at the same time, some of the JRPGs, they feel so generic now, right? If you press the select button on the world map, the group will engage in a skit. The skits are mainly conversations about your progress in the story, but you can encounter special ones if specific conditions have been met. Lore me neat! Did you know that despite being the first game in the franchise, Tales of Phantasia is actually a distant sequel to Tales of Symphonia? The events that occur in this game happens 4,000 years after the culmination of Symphonia's story. So this whole world that we will be exploring, this is actually the world that became after the events of Lloyd's journey, and it is further expounded in Dawn of the New World. Collectively, this is known as the Acelia timeline, the entirety of which we will tackle in this channel. Alright, so we just have to stand here. So the thing about Tales of Phantasia, and also Tales of Phantasia Cross, is that we have to stand on the world map for the skits to appear. No skit will appear inside cities, dungeons, and most of them will, like the games that we have now, they will occur when something major, a major story beat happens, and or we're moving from one place to another. Now, in the beginning, in this part, the moment we get out of Totus village, there are, in the original, I think, 4 skits that you can watch right off the bat just by standing still. the thing is, the fourth skit, which involves the stuffed Cless item that we got, we cannot trigger it normally on this version because to trigger it, you have to go all the way up here to the Euclid Pass right here and enter it in order to get to Euclid, which was the, let's go back for a bit, which is that large fortress looking or castle looking rather town up there. But here, if we go any further, Chester is gonna say, dude, where are you going? But yeah, the skit, the fourth skit, it occurs right in that area, in the Euclid area at this specific time frame, right before we fight the boar. After that, it's gonna be missable, but you can only, as far as I know, as far as I think you can do, because again, this is my first time playing Cross, but the only thing I could think of that would allow you to view that skit that we cannot view legitimately is if you cheat and use like a wall hack or something, but that's not something we're gonna do. We're not using any cheats for this game apart from the cheats required to play this game as close to modernized as it possibly can in terms of the graphical stuff, which is part of the tutorial for, you know, patching Tales of Phantasia Cross. Anyways, moving on. Let's go here. Oh yeah, there are certain enemies that can only be fought here. So if we're trying to do 100% completion, then we have to fight like several of them. I'm gonna write them down, add them in post. Also, I'm gonna skip most of the battles. Before I forget, I think, yeah, we're all level 1, so the best course of action here before we actually go to the forest, which is this patch of trees down there, is to level up our characters to level 3, because that would give Chester his first what do you call this? His first art, and we would want that. Also, it's kind of weird going back to this battle system. It's the updated linear battle system from the older titles, but it's still kind of weird going back to this after being subjected to playing Tales of Arise. Yeah, new art for Cless, which is nice. So let's equip that. And then we're gonna go and speed up the battles. And skip them and just edit them in post. As we try to get to level 3 for everyone. To make things easier for us.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so finally we got Cless and Chester at level 3. So we equip Hellflare. It's already equipped. Sorry, I forgot. You don't need to equip them. But yeah, it's already equipped. Also, something of note that I forgot to mention when we clicked on Arts for Cless, they have Mastery, and Mastery increases, of course, every time we use the art. So it's similar, or rather, the whole art leveling up thing, it started from this game. Another thing that I forgot to mention about Cross is that they added the grade shop, which is not really available in the original. So anyways, let's go to the Forest of Spirits. There are 2 enemies here that we would want to get since we are trying for 100% right. And I think it's the giant bee and the owl. Those are the 2 enemies that we would want here. Dude, look, a boar. Boing. After it. So yeah, there are 2 chests here as well. First one is here, an apple gel. Then the next one is up here. This part I remember pretty well. I remember it pretty well because, again, it's everything that happens from this point is kind of one of the, well, not really iconic. I wouldn't call it that, but one of the memorable things for me as a kid, because again, it just hits so hard. A head, a boar, a boar's head. You ain't getting away from us. Also, the TP restoration at the end of each battle, they're pretty generous. So I don't really feel all that bad before using the arts. Anyways, above us is the first boss. Saying it loosely, boss battle. So if you're playing, you want to make sure that everyone is at level 3. You have Chester's art. Again, health layer, your HP and SP or TP are good before heading up there. So everything is good for us. So let's continue. An interesting cutscene is about to occur. I lost sight of it. How?
間違いなくこの辺りにいるはずなんだけどな。俺、近くを探してくるぜ。確かにこっちへ来たと思ったんだけど。
Interesting. I love Cless's surprise expression down there at the bottom. Lord Minute! This tree is a very important tree. And if you've played the 2 Symphonia games and have listened to our previous Lore Minute section, then you'd know why. And in a similar way, and though I can't really spoil it just yet, this woman who appears before us pleading not to destroy the tree, she is an important figure with a name you would recognize if you have also played Symphonia before. So yeah, it's very important to pay attention to this tree and to remember it. That was interesting, right? Even the lore behind it, it's so awesome. Knowing what I know now. But even when I was playing this as a kid, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what just happened? What was that about? Who is that woman? So many questions. I want to keep playing. And then my mom or my dad would come and tell me, it's time to stop. I should rest my eyes or there's school tomorrow. So I would like begrudgingly save and just put the controller away and close everything down. And I would look forward to the weekends where I can play much longer. Provided, of course, I've done my chores and also done my homework. Because that's the thing. We can only play if we've done our chores and done our homework. So yeah, first boss battle right here. We only actually have to deal with the boar, as the baby ones, they would run away, like so. And the thing with Chester is pretty useless if you're too far, so we're trying to lure the boar. The thing about also this battle system is I feel like it's a little bit mindless, like I'm just spamming. Not really thinking much, I don't even care about the grade since I can easily get that back. Got pork! Put my pork chop there. So things are gonna escalate from here. The bell. So yeah, we're gonna be running here, and I'm not even pressing the run button. The game just makes us run this fast. Which I think is actually funny, but given the context, it's understandable. Because the only time that the bells would ring if there's something happening, right? And there is something happening. And if we stay put, again, look there, skit. There are 2 skits at this point. So we just need to stay put even though the village is burning. I want the skits. So yeah, just staying put just to make sure that yes, just 2.
家を見てくる。アミ。
So there we have it. Totus has been decimated. Everyone has been killed. And I think one of the saddest things here is that even these two lovers who are looking forward to marrying each other in the coming month are also casualties. But of course, the biggest one here. This scene is the scene that whenever I think of Tales of Phantasia, this is the first one that comes to mind, followed by the story as a whole, which is just one of the things, again, that I loved experiencing as a kid, because I just thought it was such an epic adventure to be a part of as a player. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up and let us immerse ourselves into this iconic scene.
母さんは無事か。父さん、何が起きたの？父さん。母さん。母さん、しっかり。
クリス、逃げなさい。おじの住む北の都ユークリッドに。あいつらはお前のペンダントを。
So again, they didn't, I know I said I'd shut up, but they didn't really hide it from the beginning that if something were to happen, it's gonna be because of the pendant. And as gamers, as viewers, we know the reason why, sort of, because we saw it in the first few minutes of the game, the importance of this pendant.
あいつらって誰？一体誰がこんなことを？
父さんは私が人質に取られなければ。
母さん。目を開けてよ。母さん。
My gosh, that scream. That is such a gut-wrenching scream. Like, I imagine it like that as a kid because, again, there is no voice acting when I played this originally. And hearing that scream, and it's one of the things that I like about Japanese voice, or Japanese voiced RPGs, is that their performance feels raw. Like, you can feel the raw emotion behind it. You can actually empathize with what the characters in the screen, who they're portraying as feels because of their voice acting. I'm not gonna say that all voice acting done by the Japanese are like peak, right? There are some which are not. And what I'm saying is that a great voice acting, it can elevate a scene and make us feel more what is the emotion we were intended to feel, as opposed to a really bad dub, or even really bad voice acting, basically. And the first bad voice acting that comes to mind is the first Resident Evil games on the PlayStation 1. Even I think it's Resident Evil. Which one is it? Which one is the one where they're in the Spencer Mansion? That one? I feel so I just feel the need to laugh every time I remember the voice acting for that. It was so bad. It was so hilarious. And even Amy, or Amy.
チェスター。チェスター、ここは危険だ。ユークリッドの僕のお家のところへ行こう。アミーや村の人たちをこのままにして逃げるっていうのか。 俺は嫌だ。行くんなら一人で行け。
You can tell also that he is saying these things because he is mourning, he is hurt, he is shocked. Doesn't really think that Cless is heartless.
みんなを弔わないと。
And that's the thing with human emotions. You have to take into account the scenario, I suppose you can say, or what is happening, and base the reaction of that. Because some people, they're not really good with dealing with their emotions and processing stuff, that they would sometimes say hurtful things because they are hurt and they want other people to feel hurt. Right?
村を襲った奴らが戻ってきたら殺されるかもしれないんだぞ。すまん、クレス。それでも俺はチェスター。先に行っててくれ。二人とも残るのは危険だ。俺は後から必ず行くから。必ずだぞ。ああ、必ずだ。二人で必ず敵を撃つぞ。ああ。
So there we have it. Talking to Chester will just repeat that, so I'm not gonna talk to him. There's the pendant right around Cless's neck.
ペンダントを狙う奴ら。早くここから離れよう。そうすれば少なくともチェスターが狙われることはないはずだ。
But he said we have to get out of here fast, but we don't really listen to Cless because there's something we need to get. And this is one thing that I find really cool about this game, is that there are hints, right, of what's gonna happen. And also the whole show, not tell kind of thing, they also do it here. But if you go up here, we can see this sword sticking out right here. A sword. It doesn't belong to me or Dad. Interesting. Did the attackers leave it behind? And then it tells us it acquired a knight's saber, which, if we are to really look into the dialogue, we can kind of guess what that means. And also, this sword is stronger than what we have, so we equip it. So yeah, that's all we can do here. Mom, Dad, you gotta love the nuance, right? Done by voice acting. Again, I'm just obsessed with it. But for now, this is where we stop. And the next time, we are heading off to Euclid, and we're gonna find out who it was that attacked Totus. So please join me again next time so you don't miss a moment of what I consider to be one of the epic JRPGs, the pillars, the foundation of a JRPG franchise, and of course also my gaming and why I love gaming so much. So until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye for now. Keep safe, everyone, and see you next time.
父さんがくれたペンダントを狙う奴ら。早くここから離れよう。おじさん、これは。
ああ、すまない。こうしなかったらわしらは愚かユークリッドの都がトーティスの二の舞になってしまうんだ。
このペンダントはもらっておくぞ。おい、この若造の武器を奪って牢に入れておけ。
牢屋に捕まっている女の子を助けてあげて。あなたならきっと館から出られるわ。
心配しなくてもいいよ。僕は君を助けに来たんだ。僕はクレス。君は？
ミント。私はミント・アドネードです。